Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Nice Ford Cougar, Mk2 Fiesta we're going to work on today, Mk3 Focus, and obviously Alice the Mk1 Focus up there. So a nice little array of Fords in the workshop at the moment. That does look nice. That does make you happy to come to the workshop, doesn't it? But today we're going to be working on the Mk2 Fiesta. So if you've not seen this Mk2 before, I've had it on my channel before, where I fitted a boot lock to it and we sort of little bits and bobs on the car for it. But we're supposed to be doing the bush kit, but it turned out the Mk1 bush kit arrived, which is why I've changed the bushes on my car, and I've had to order a set for this car and they've arrived now, so that's why we're doing this now. But it had to get through its MOT, so I made up some temporary bushes for this car. So if you haven't seen that video, it's on my channel. Go and have a look at it, because this is a really nice looking car. It's absolutely rust free underneath. It's a little shame that it's got the lack of peel on pretty much every panel, but other than that, it's a really nice car. A little 1.4 CVH injection, so it's a really nice little car. And I do know it's got it up for sale, so if anybody's interested in this, you'll find them at Bra Bilvord. So you may have seen a previous video, we did the front bushes on Alice, the complete kit on the front end. Well, we're going to do the same job on the Mk2. Now they are slightly different. So you've got the same front lower arms bushes there. It's got the slightly different bush kit that the Mk1 has got. The Mk1 you have to press them out and press them back in again. These ones don't, they're just like donuts. But then you've also got the suspension legs. So this time I definitely have to take the suspension legs down. Right, so as I say, these arms exactly the same as on the Mk1. Hopefully they are slightly less difficult to get in there, but I doubt it. So we're going to take them down. These trailing arms here are very slightly different in the way that they go through here. Now on the Mk1, it's a bracket that comes along here and it's kind of straighter into this bracket than what this one does. This one goes in at an upward angle like that. So that's why this one has these two rubber like donuts. This one doesn't, because that's the one I did not long ago to get it through its MOT. This side, worn, not as bad as the other one, but it's pretty bad on there. So it's a matter of unbolting that and unbolting at that end and taking that down. So we'll be doing those two underneath the car, and then there's the suspension legs. Difference here is that the steering rack that you'll have seen on my Mk1. So the difference here is that the brackets are welded to the steering rack there. There's no rubber bush holding the steering rack to the car. So you don't have to change the bushes on the steering rack on this one. So underneath the car, it's fairly simple to do. So we're going to start off by pulling the bolt out of there, the ball joint out, and then we'll start taking this tie rod off under here as well. And we'll do both these sides at the same time. Right, so this is the kit. Now, as you can see, the Mark IIs have these rubber donuts that sit on top of the housing up there. Now, the new poly ones are split ones, so you can put that onto the shock absorber, lift it into place, and then you put that on afterwards when you bolt it all down. So nice and easy to fit. Not really sure these were worn out, to be honest, but they come as a kit, so we'll change them. We've got the donut ones here that I changed before. As you can see, there are nice thick bushes there compared to the ones that are here now. You'll see it better when I take it apart, but these are knackered. There's nothing left of these. They're definitely not that thick anyway. And we've got the bottom arm bushes the same as we did on my car, on the Mark I. Pretty similar here, but then everything else is different. So that's the difference between a Mark I and a Mark II kit. So make sure you get the right one. So I'm going to start with the suspension legs because they look the easiest. Whether they are or not, I don't know, but they look the easiest. I'm going to start off by cleaning these cups up to get rid of all this crap that's on here. Just going to use a wire brush on a drill, get all that nice and clean, and then hopefully it's just a matter of putting them back in again with the new bushes, and that's it. That remains to be seen, and I've said that before that this looks easy, but we'll give it a go. Right, so as I said, these are split like that. So this one basically just has a little slot around the top there, and that slot fits into the top of the shock mount like that, and the shock absorber I've already put the bush on, ready to put up. There we go. Right, so the same as I did with my Mark I, I'm going with the bush removal kit. So I'm going with this bush removal kit. It's a really good kit. You've got a 10mm, 12mm, 40mm, 15mm axle that you can put in between it, like a threaded axle in there, and you've got a choice of loads of these tubes that you can choose. They're all different sizes, and they're all the sizes are written across there. So you put them on one end and you basically press it out of the other side. So I've got it all set up here. So you've got the little bracket on the end there that holds this sleeve into place. There are the nuts on the end of here that go inside that bracket. I've already put a 30mm socket on there because I already know I needed a 30mm socket when I did the Mark I. And then there's a nut on the other end. Now, when I did mine, I'd already powder coated this. So this arm has been in the oven, which is why I think it might be slightly more difficult on this one, that might take a little bit more persuasion. But I'm going to give it a go and see what happens, just to see if I can press it out the same as I did with my car. There we go. So as you saw, it just popped out. So that's the bush out, and yeah, you can do it by hand. The next one I do, same as I did on my one, I'm going to use the battery machine on the end there just to make it go a little bit quicker. But yep, it's fairly easy to push them bushes out. You don't need any kind of hydraulic presses or anything like that. They come out really, really easily. Right, that's those two done. I'm going to fit them back on the car. Right, those are in there, and they were so much easier to get in than mine were. Don't know why, but so much easier. Right, so moving on to the last bushes. Now I'm going to start off with the side that I haven't done anything to. This side I've already made bushes for it. They're not perfect, but they've done the job. These ones are knackered. So it's just held on with this 22mm socket here, and it just pulls out of there, and we'll just replace them. So we'll get it undone now. So if we now compare the original bushes, that's the one at the front, and that's the rear one, with the new ones, we can see that there is a distinct difference in the two, and they were definitely in need of replacement. So these are quite easy to fit. You've got one of the bushes on one side, one on the other side, the two washers and the nut. Now they send these nuts and I can't get them to fit. I think they're the wrong thread, so I'm not bothering with them. I'll use the original ones and they'll work just fine. So I'll now take apart that side and we can have a look, compare the ones that I made to the new ones. So these are the ones I made, and they are two pieces of about 6mm rubber. If I compare them to the new ones, they weren't too bad size wise. The problem with these is they're just rubber, so they're already starting to disintegrate and turn into nothing. So they were alright short term, but they're no good in the long term. So luckily enough, we've got new ones. Right, so everything back together again, all the bolts there. The only thing left to do now is to tighten these bolts up, and I've left them purposely loose so that this can twist slightly as it's going back together again. So I just got to tighten both of these nuts up now that everything is all tightened up underneath here, and we're done with the bushes. Right, so that is the bush kit done for the Mk2 Fiesta. Now the bush kit has come from Outlaw Motorsport. It's not sponsored, so if you need any bush kits from Outlaw Motorsport, I'll put a link down below. So the next video is going to be a big one, and it's going to be an epic video, and it's all to do with her. Gustav is arriving next Friday, so that means we're going to do a sound test on her, and if that goes well, which I hope it does, then I will be able to get her finally MOT'd, and then she'll be absolutely road legal, and I can start to drive her. And hopefully when all this snow goes from outside, we can start having a car show and I can start getting her out there. So make sure you press the subscribe button so that you don't miss that video. I'll also put a link on the screen to my social media, my Facebook and my Instagram, so make sure you go in there and press that like and subscribe button there. If you like what you've seen in this video, please press that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next epic video with Alice. But until then, thanks a lot and bye-bye.